Om Shanti. So we are attending vivaham. This is also known as vivaham. Is also known as Udvaha, but generally that's not used in our Udvaha. Udvaha means Udvaha, the literal meaning is that taking the bride from the house, from the father's house, Udvaha, taking away. It's called Udvaha. Vivaham, Panigrahanam. Like that, there are so many names for vivaha. Panigrahanam, at one point of time, holding the hand is panigrahanam. So, like that. So, vivaha, basically, it is necessary for Grihastasramis. As I told you, for Brahmacharyatvam, after Brahmacharyatvam, if one really wants to experience the true renunciation process, the true renunciation process is possible only through Grihastasramam, and Grihastasramam through vivaha. In Grihastasramam, vivaha is most important. In Grihastasramam. So, in order to experience that, whatever has been theoretically learnt by the brahmachari in the ashramam, in the gurukulam, in order to experience that, it's a great opportunity. That's why many of them, they would like to be born as human in order to experience the Grihastasramam in the right manner. This is why even Adi Shankaracharya could not compete with Nandan Mishra only for one point of Grihastasramam, where he had to come back and then again learn Grihastasramam and go back, so that the knowledge is complete. Why? Because Grihastasramam is the where you have got a lot of karmas to execute. And basically what happens, it is with the karma bhala one gets attracted and attached. And that makes the one to live, take the births. So this attachment is coming from the karma phalas. How to get, not to get attached to karma phalas? Here in this case what happens? A normal human being who has not been trained, who has not been trained in order to get the vairagya, even for execution of karmas, it's difficult for him to live through the Grihastasrama. In a Grihastasrama, a lot of karmas have to be executed. Lot of contradictions are there in Grihastasrama. Lot of conflicts are there. Ideologically, lots of conflicts are there. And day to day and moment to moment, decisions have to be taken dharmically, even though there are conflicts. Each and every conflicts, every distortions, every anukaranam, everything has to be done based on dharma. How the dharma can be applicable in execution of karmas and also not to get attracted to karma phalas can be learned only through Grihastasrama, and for Grihastasrama, the vivaha is absolutely necessary. So it's a great chapter actually now. In each and every step, dharma has to be followed. That's called the brahmacharya, brahmacharyato. That's how he goes into the moksha. So, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they said. In dharma, artha, kama, moksham, artha and kama has to be experienced only through Grihastasrama. Dharma is different. The sannyasis and others are all executing their karma through dharma only. Artha kama has to be experienced through the Grihastasramam and not through vivaham. That's why the vivaham has been given a lot of importance to this one. In this case, what happens? As I said, Uddhvaha. In Uddhvaha, what happens is that the girl, the Kanya, so had been not responsible for anything in this house of the father. It's a kind of being protected by the parents and then living there. A human being cannot be surviving like that. That's not a karma. That is like in any way, any other jivatma for that matter. For a jivatma to get mukti or moksha, they have to, because through the experience only the vairagya can be created. Vairagya cannot be created without any experience. Sitting down just like that, he is a vairagi, is not possible. So many people ask, no, why the gods get married, why the Shastras say that, no, getting married and the things like that. Symbolically, even though the God is that above everything, but what happens for a human being to understand and learn from the principles of that? These doubts are there, and then many people have not clarified these doubts. So they are only examples that symbolically they are showing that even gods have to have the marriages. I mean, Lord Vishnu has Lakshmi and Shah, and Bhagavan has got Mata Parvati, and then Brahma to Saraswati and things like that. They are all there because of, even though they are nothing but different forms of the same form. Even though that's a thing, that's a principle. Ultimately, one understands through the learning of the Shastras and Vedas, as well as through the Tapa and through the Jnanam, through Vairagya, one understands that. But for a normal human being to have an example, oh, God is also like that, so we should follow that. This was the kind of thing, because people were not educated at one point of time. People had to one has to make them believe it. So there has to be a lot of stories to be made. That's why many of the Puranas, you will find a lot of conflicts and contradictions to each ideas and opinions, is only because it's a methodology of teaching, that's all. Not that they have contradictions. Absolutely no. There are no contradictions. When you explain it thoroughly and go into Tattva Shastram, that has been explained in the Purana, you will understand that ultimately it comes to the same thing. So what happens as for Brahmacharitam? So Uddhvaham. In Uddhvaham, what happened? The girl who had no responsibilities, who did not know what is called a life, how a woman has to be living. So a Grihastasramam is necessary. Or a man. It's not only that. Both, man or woman. For both of them, a Grihastasrama is necessary in order, if he wants. There are so many who chooses after the, what is it?
Brahmacharya.
No. After the Gurukula Vasa, there are so many who chooses go into the Adhyatma path. They don't want to they don't want to have any experience of this. Many of them, they choose this. Many of them would like to choose Acharyas. They become Acharyas. They become many others like that. But many others, and most of them, what happens? Most of them, they come to the Grihastasrama because lot of learning. That means not only learning. What he has learned during the ashramam, everything, Guru has taught them everything. There's nothing that he has left. But what has been learned from there has to be put into experience. Then only he will know that whether he has the real knowledge or not. See, in Vairagya, he will learn it. During the learning of Gurukula, they will know that what is called Vairagya. And maybe a Vairagya, he will be practicing that. But the real practice and real have the inherent quality of that human being, whether there is any negativity hidden inside or has not been cleared, can be known only when he really experiences the Grihastasrama, not theoretically, in practice. For that, Grihastasrama is absolutely necessary. For that, vivaha is absolutely necessary. In this, what happens? One learns the responsibility, one learns the characteristics, One learns the discipline. One learns how to sacrifice. These are all sacrifices, lot of sacrifices. Lot of sacrifices have to be made. Then only the ashrama will become absolutely peaceful, shanta. In giving only shanti will come. In receiving shantata will not come. Receiving will be accumulating or accumulation, whereas giving away means nothing is left. Vairagya can be given. So this learning process is in the Grihastasramam. That's why it is known as a Grihastha. Grihastha is that the one who manages the life in a combination of many activities and many people is called Griham. What's Griham? Griham is that which accommodates different characteristics, different characters and different activities, different modules, different many other activities involved in that. This has to be handled dharmically, is called Grihastha Ashrama. Otherwise it's only Grihastha. He's a Grihasthi, we can say. But Grihastha Ashramam is that one executes each and every activity of the Grihastha Ashrama dharmically and in the right principles of the Brahmacharyam is called Grihastha Ashrama. That's why the name is Grihastha Ashrama. So that is Udvaha. That means taking away the one who is being just looked after like anyone else and being taken care by someone else. Now one has to be prepared in order to take the responsibility of the life and take responsibility of others. The girl has to come out of the house in order to take the responsibility of the world, the responsibility of others, the responsibility of the Griha. That is why she has to be married. And that is why the principle says that she should not live in her house. In her house, she will always depend upon the advisors who had been there from the beginning. And she cannot make a different, her own efforts in order to make the life more fruitful. She has to be independent. She has to individually come out of it, manage it herself. See, if I don't experience myself, how can I learn? No, it's not possible. Every time I get somebody's advice, okay, you do this, what is it? A donkey's life, no? That's all. You do this, okay, I'll do that. You don't do this, you do that. No. One has to learn how to lead oneself alone, you see. That's called it. Till then, one has to learn. After learning, put that into practice. That's why in Kanya status, in the Grihastha, the mother's responsibility is to teach her how to handle independently, individually. Earlier days, there used to be no contacts. Even for years together, the girls will not contact the own house. But today what happened, I don't want to, should I tell? Water has been kept for boiling. She will ring up the house and ask how much tea has to be put in that for 2 cups of chai. No. How much sugar has to be put. How to... So, no. From there it begins. Each and every, the same instruction. Now what Grihastasramam? What she will learn? She has to... Not only cooking I'm talking about. I started from that simplest thing also. Today each and everything, still the same old pattern of advice is being taken. Principle is what? The principle is that you have your own Grihasthi, they say that. You have your own Grihasthashram. You have to manage, you have to take decisions because why is it like that? Is it wrong to take advices? Not wrong. Then what? Situations in that house is totally different. And the living in that house is totally different. Situation in your era, in your time, in your circumstances and your situations, they are totally different. This situation cannot be solved by them. It is not possible. It has to be solved by you only because your circumstances are yours only. Your karma is yours only. So each and every individual, whether it is a boy or a girl, I am not talking about the girl alone. Just talking about girl because that is more prominent. That's why. Grihastha. So each and everyone has to take an independent activity. That's why he has to have Dharmam and Artham. How to earn the living in dharmic way. The man should be knowing how he has to earn the living dharmically. This I have explained, I think, earlier. No, I don't want to repeat the whole thing because it's a very big chapter actually. How to dharmically earn it. Not finding shortcuts. Through the dharmam only that artham has to be created. Every karma phala is called an artham. What is artham? Artha is not only money, the result. What is artham? Result. Result of what? Result of your karmas. Result of your earning. Result of your dharmam. What is the result of your dharmam? That is artham. So the artha from the dharmic way of living, you gain that artham. That artham has to be utilized for the kama and moksha, Grihastasramam and then mukti. Through the grihasti, that means through the kama, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that earning, that means that man also has to be knowing that dharmically. That means a brahmachari should know how to earn the living in the right manner. It's a living that is more important than not accumulating wealth that is important. You need wealth in order to execute your karmas. We have to primarily understand that. The wealth of any earning or any artham, any earning is necessary for, whatever is necessary for our utility of our living only should be earned. Even the fame or the bad name or ninda or anything for that matter, whatever has to be earned, it has to be used for the purpose of our life. That what is necessary for execution of our karmas only should be earned. That's called earning. That's called karma phala. That karma phala should be utilized and exhausted, because that then we will not be in a position, then we will not be attracted and attached to karma phala. No. They are all only for utility. So the artham, that what you are earning, artham, money is only one meaning of artham. That's all. Hundreds of meanings. My behavior, my talk, my look, my sleep, my jnanam, my patanam, my patanam, everything is giving artham. So everything gives artham. That whatever, you must think that, okay, this karma what I am doing, whether that result of it, is it useful for my life? Living in the dharmic way. No, this has to be understood. Not for the purpose of only something else. No, it's not that. Education is necessary in order to utilize that education for the purpose of execution of karmas. No. Otherwise, what is the use? A man who does business, okay, he has to learn the business management, he knows how to do that. That knowledge what he has earned, he should be putting into practice for execution of his karmas. Anything that is necessary, that means any artha, I am just giving you in small examples, that's all. Major examples are there are very big examples are there in life. The whole living, the life itself, the living itself is a karma. Living is a karma, and the phala of the living is called karma phala. That should be utilized for the purpose of living, for the purpose of moksha. That which cannot give me mukti. What is the purpose of Grihastasramam? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. After kama. In kama what? Lots of desires will be there. That's kama. In Grihastasramam there are lots of desires. These desires will be there. And these desires can be fulfilled. Nothing wrong. And have desires. But these desires can be fulfilled also. But one should not get attracted and attached to the desires or the results of the desires. I have explained this in our acharam. And Hindu Shastras has been explained in that its complete explanation has been given on that. You see, that like us, many of us, we all are feeling. If we don't have children, we will ask for children. Once the children come, then we will have, then they will say that, oh, एक नन्हा सा पैर देखने से फिर हम जान छोड़ देंगे. Then I am ready to die. After Nanna Sapphire has come, then say that, oh no, now I don't want to die because I want to see his marriage also. Then I will do. Like that, our karma, normal thing is like that, you see. Same thing had happened that we earn also, we accumulate. We Kama is never ending. That should not happen because it's Maya. Maya is always very attracting and attaching. That's why it is known as Maya. Maya is always beautiful to externally to look at, but inside is very horrible. So externally, so you will find in movies and all, you will find it's true also. It has been told in Shastras also. The Preta Atmas, no, white sari wala. Wali, no, sorry. Always white sari, no? In Preta, Bhuta, also, they are all supposed to be very beautiful, no? So that no, it couldn't get set up. Maya, that's Bhuta. So Maya is like that. Maya is beautiful. Maya is immediately can get attracted. That's called Maya. No, Maya. That means now it is there, now it is not there. The moment you acquire it, it is like, have you noticed children? Or we ourselves have done it, sometimes through the small peephole of a window, sometimes that sunlight comes, and you will catch like that. It is like that. Maya is that. You can never catch, but it looks beautiful. It's there in your hand, but you cannot hold it, it's not possible. Maya is that. Maya is very beautiful to look at. And so we get attracted. Human being get dragged to that actually, get attracted to that. So anything that is there will not satisfy him, because one satisfaction will lead him to two desires. Two desires will lead him to four desires. It continues like that. So what happens? In order to how to control this desire, where to stop it? That's what they said. That's why Rajas, when they become old or the young, not old, when the son grows to that responsible stage, he should not think twice how he will manage, whether my son can manage or not. He is only 16. No? Like that. No, nothing doing. The moment Rajyabhisheka has been done to him, Rajya has to be handed over to him. When he stays there, what happens? He will have attraction. The son will have attraction. So what happens? He goes for Vanaprastham. After Grihastasramam, it is Vanaprastham. That's why Vanaprastham has been prescribed. And without any deviation, people in the old age, they gave the responsibilities. How I have done, you have seen it, and it is all there in the documents. Now you have learned it also for 1 or 2 years. As Yuvaraj, you learn it. And after that, Rajyabhisheka has been done, and now you take over. Goodbye. I will not be there anywhere in the vicinity. No, I am in the forest somewhere. Once in a while, as a human being, as a son, you can always visit. Don't visit me as a Raja, not for advice. I will not give any advice. For giving advice, who is there? There is a Rajaguru is there. He will give the advice for that. The Raja. Not me. It's not this. This is what Bhishma also, when he was in Sharashaya, when he was talking, Bhagavan Krishna said about to the Yudhishthira that, for the purpose of, he was asking Lord Krishna that you have explained all the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna during the war field, in the war field, but don't you give me the advice for now taking over the Rajya and how to manage the Rajya Bhara. Bhagavan says, I am not the right person for that. Go and ask that man who is lying on that arrows. Charashaya. He is the right man who can, because he has got a lot of experience on that. Better go and ask him. He did not give. And he also told that, look, I have told Arjuna at the point of time as when he was reluctant to execute his karmas at that point of time, to suit that particular situation and circumstance, I have given that advice. That advice is no more valid. And it's not valid for you. It's only for a karma yogi who has been reluctant to execute his karmas, who is doing it. Whereas Rajaniti is totally different. Rajaniti, it is, Nyaya has to be there. Niti means Nyayam. That Niti has to be maintained. Rajaniti has to be understood from him, because he has undergone the experience, because he is the man who, Bhishma, is the man who has done the maximum mistakes in his life. And he is the man who is an absolute jnani of the everything, And he is the man who has done the maximum mistakes in life. Starting from his birth onwards, he has done only mistakes. Lots of mistakes. Well, I am not going for that. So you will know when you read the Mahabharata, you know each and every activity of his was like covered for some time, many times. No, each and every activity. You take Vastra Achebam, you take when his stepbrothers had to get married, he went and by force took Amba, Ambika, Ambalika from the Kashi Raja and then brought her. What all atrocities he has done? No. This all. Who has done it? Bhishma has done it. So he can tell you, experience it. You know, even though Vedavyasa was there, others were there, they were all there. But Krishna said, go and ask him, because from the mistakes only one can learn out of it. Even though he is one of those what is it? Who has been born in order to experience his past life. Well, I am forgetting that now. Well, right, in order, because he was instrumental for stealing the cow from Vasishtha Ashram. You know, so he has got the characteristics of stealing. That's what he has done here also. Instead of cow, these were girls, that's all. So like that, you know, this was there. There's a difference. So he being Ashtavasus. He was the one of the Ashtavasus, the eighth Vasu, eighth. So that's why he was cursed by Maharishi Vasishtha, cursed him. That's how he was taken birth as this here in this Janma. So okay, now Grihastasramam. So one has to learn Grihastha. So this is how, from the experience in Grihastasrama, one experiences, Maya, Dharma, as well as the karma. All the three, Dharma, Karma and Maya. In these divisions, each one has to be used every time. He has to use the karma, he has to do the karma with the desire, with the karma he has to do it, because any karma doing is the karma. With the karma he does it, but it has to be done dharmically, where dharma has to be involved, where he should not get attached. This practice and this knowledge, this vidya, this jnanam has to be acquired, and as brahmachari has acquired, or one has to acquire from the Gurukula, from the Guru, through the examples of him and the Shastras and teachings of him, so that he can independently handle these things. Each and every incident cannot be taken advice from others, because each one's experience will be different. That's why every common man cannot give advices. Do we go to anybody and everybody for advice? We don't go, no? Who do we go? We go to a person who is not attached to these karmas. Then only you will get the right. That means a guru or a ashrami or a tapasvi or a jnani or a rishi or this one. Even Raja is ruling based on, even though he is supposed to rule certain things, rajasic karma has to be done. Somebody has done a grave mistake in the praja. He has to punish him. He has to even tell him that he hang him till death. This has to be done by Raja, that is Raja's dharma. That's called Raja dharma. He has to do it, then punishment. This punishment also, even though he is a Satviki, who the Raja Guru, he will advise him, this is the punishment you are supposed to give. According to Raja Dharmam and Rajniti, this has to be done. This is advised by whom? By that great Maharshi Tapasvi, by that Guru, who can identify the karmas and the karma phalas and the phalas and not phalas. Everything can be understood and identified. He is eligible to advise others depending upon how is the advice to be given. Advice is not given according to the experience of that individual. Rajaguru doesn't have any experience of ruling the country. Has he got anything? No, he was a tapasvi only. And he is advising how to rule the country. You see. Because through dharmam and through jnanam, everything is understood. Through tapasya, everything is acquired. He has attained the epitome of the absolute of the what is that? The vairagya status. Only a vairagi, can really impartially can advise. No? And advice should be impartial. And that can be done only by a jnani. Only a jnani can do that. Jnani means what? A jnani and tapasvi, not a jnani. There are two kinds of jnanis we misunderstand. We have to understand these things. I have to little elaborate. What are the jnanis? One, what we understand about the scholars. I was telling the other day that I am not a scholar. After that I stopped. I did not explain further. And they did not ask me also. What is the difference? A scholar, scholarly means scholar. He knows everything that is printed, that is available in the books. Everything is there. You ask him by heart. I used to tell that because it was connected with a particular incident, because there was a great knowledgeable man who was speaking on the program in the television. So I told that he is a great jnani. I said that he is a great jnani, no doubt about it, because he knows everything. He has studied everything. He has studied various subjects. He could sit and explain for hours together all those things, no doubt about it. But what happens? He is a jnani. He is a scholar. Who is a scholar? The one who has studied and by-hearted and could recite it the same way is a scholar. What has been there and what was there or what is there written by someone else or projected or spoken by someone else, repeating that exactly without any mistake, efficiently and rightfully, is called a scholar. Huh? But what happened? That is scholar. That is why if you read Mahabhagavatam or any Bharatam or any other Upanishads and others are things that jnanam should be with bhakti. Otherwise jnanam is dry. If absolutely dry, it will be very hard to, like grammar, vyakaranam. So absolutely dry is very difficult to understand. But in that, little bit of water added, like in a hard substance, a little bit of liquid added that will make it, what is it called? Semi-liquid or semi-solid, or can be easily digested. Okay. Otherwise it's too hard or too soft, that should not be there. It can be done. So this bhakti has to be there along with it. So what is that meaning? What does it mean by that? Many people have told. Even in beginning of Bhagavatam it has been told that only one is dry and Sugya, another dying. Narada, when he goes, one is Jnanam, another is Bhakti. This is how it begins. I have explained about this. So Jnanam should not be dry Jnanam. Now scholarly means, scholar means is absolute core to the knowledge, everything, data, everything without any mistake. It can be repeated. Is a scholar, and it has its own advantages. It's not bad. But what is the purpose of life? I am totally different. As I told, not a scholar. Totally different than what is that? Man has to be Brahmajnani. What's the purpose? All the dharma, artha, kama, then what? After all this? Moksha. Mukti from all these things. Mukti from jnana. Vivek Chudamani said at the end of it, that after everything is over, after you reach the top of the ladder, push the ladder out. Walk further. That's all. Ladder has no use. Scholar has no use. No. Brahman. What is Brahmajnanam? Scholarly knowledge is not required for Brahmajnanam. What is that? Absolute jnanam is required for Brahmajnanam. Not scholarly knowledge. That's the difference between the scholar. You understood now the difference between jnanam. So which jnanam is to be acquired is your choice. Nothing wrong. You keep on learning, as I told you, even if you take 10 janmas or 15 janmas, just to read our shastras that is available, it will take 15 janmas of a person, it seems. If you keep on reading 24 hours, all the 365 days, all your 100 years old, and if you do that, no eating, no sleeping, nothing, keep on reading. It will take 15 years, it seems, to complete all the shastras to read, just to read. This is all that. That means various. Is it necessary to read all that, or is it that scholarly? Scholarly is taste, somebody wants to know it. Okay, they want to learn, they would like to learn. Learn it, no problem. Absolutely all right, no problem. Everything is fine. But what is necessary in true life, what is called truth, identification of the truth. Why are you a sannyasi? Why are you born, first of all? Then why are you a sannyasi? Why are you a grihastasrami? Why are you a scientist? Why are you a doctor? Why are you this? Why are you that? Why are you a person who is inventing the, what's that? Aeronautical, spacecrafts and space travel. Now today there are 4 people traveling in the earth, you know that? There are 4 people who are traveling, orbiting the earth 3 times or 4 times it will go. I think from 4 countries, $250 million each one had to pay for sitting in that aircraft, and then it will circle the earth and the other planet system for 3 rounds or 4 rounds, and they will come back, land in the sea. And if they are good swimmers, they can survive. Otherwise, $250 million in the water. One lady is also there. One old lady is there. I have read in the papers. No, it's not good. It's okay. You see. Now you tell me, what is the use? Now suddenly somebody will say that. What is the use? Now they found it. It's okay. They found it. It is useful. I would like to experience now. What is it? I don't want to be a brahmachari. I would like to experience now how in a capsule, how is it that travel taking place now without this one orbit and in that. It's okay. No problem. Choice is yours. Now there are thousands of ways now how to lead your life. So it's okay. Now I'm just telling you, since we are talking about Vedanta, we are talking about Upanishads, we are talking about the Brahmajnanam, Brahma Sakshatkaram, I am quoting this. Not that I am saying that is wrong. No. Please don't misunderstand, or should not misunderstand that way. You should understand it properly. Everybody has got their own right and their own way of living. The choice is theirs. Because they are the ones who are going to enjoy the karma bhalas that they have already done. So they have to come in the next janma and they will enjoy that. Everything is an enjoyment. No? Whether it is kashta, dukkha, everything is enjoyment. Enjoyment of the karma. That's why artha. That's why I said. The result that you have gained out of it. Now you should remember that artha. That's why I told that. That artha, if a real person who is walking in the spiritual path, who would like to gain the Brahma Sakshatkaram and Brahmajnanam, would like to do the karmas and karma bhala should be utilized for the purpose of Brahmajnanam. Other than that, whatever is there, that is not necessary for. There are so many things in the world. That's not for me. Sannyasi says that there are so many things. It's not meant for me. I am sitting here. I am doing this. That's all. Because that is what he finds the way to gain his Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattva. So ultimately, the truth as per Vivek Chudamani, as well as the Upanishads, great Upanishads which are the Vedas, true Vedas actually. The purpose of the Veda, all the rituals, all the nishtas, all the acharas, all the living, each and every day's living is a acharam and nishtha. Grihastasramam is a nishtha actually. It has to be executed with nishtha. With nishtha means absolutely rigorous, absolutely perfect. According to the dharma, according to the jnanam, it has to be executed. That's called nishtha. Not just like that. It's not that. It's not to be taken so lightly. So that is why one of that great important in Grihastasrama is the vivaha. In this what happens, brahmachari can experience the real problems of the living, how the life living Each and every individual's living is different. It's not the same. And only thing, this can be known only by the great tapasvis, great jnanis, the brahmajnanis, brahmavid, brahmaiva bhavati. The one who is a brahmajnani, the one who has got the brahmajnanam, he only can advise others. Is why they have told the Rajaguru will give you the advice at a critical time. Even though the Raja may be emotionally taking a decision, or he may take a decision according to the books, according to the law. They are all, there are so many, constitution has been made, not only today, from many years, constitutions has always been there. Every Raja has a constitution. Constitutionally, things may be right, but certain things are there, constitutionally, it cannot be executed at a particular point of time. It has to be very decently, cleverly, has to be changed or modified or has to be shelved. Certain decisions have to be taken. This decision who will take? The one who knows at that point of time this particular constitution or clause or sub-clause has to be eliminated or modified. Who will tell? That Rajaguru. That Jnani who can see after 10 years what will happen, after 100 years what will happen. This is known by those tapasvis who are Jnanis. They only can do that. So they will be the advisors for our life also. When we ask for advices, we ask for such persons who is a Brahmajnani. They will advise you right. This is the way it is to be done. But it may not be suitable for that man's emotional statistics at that point of time, because he is very much egoistically and attached to certain reactions and actions of artha and kama. At that point of time, to accept it, he may find it very difficult. But you have to listen to them. This is what, that is why you will find our old system is so beautiful. It is in all our Puranas, when you see that there is a Rajaguru. And a Rajaguru is not a small man. Vasishta was a Rajaguru of Dasharatha. You can imagine. Is it not? People like that are the Rajagurus, not just simply like that. So, what is the meaning of, why did I say all this? That importance, that means the importance and the seriousness of how each and every step we should live. That's why we need such gurus, that we have to identify that, depending on that. For the purpose of what? For the purpose of Brahmajnanam, Brahmadattvam, as we are explaining here. We are not going with all other subjects. So, we talked about the scholars and scholarship. The scholarship is that, the one who is a scholar, who is only the jnanam, knowing it, being aware of it. He has got the awareness, but he has not experienced it. Brahmachari has an awareness. In order to, that's why I told all this. As an awareness, in order to experience it, he has to practice that brahmacharyatva in Grihastasrama. In when the real trouble comes, let me see how you behave. Oh, I don't have fear. When I see an elephant, I don't have fear at all. And a tiger, oh, simple, very simple. I've seen in the zoo. I was so close to the tiger. Zoo mein. Is he? Awareness. And when inside, what happens? Then he will know what is how it pains in the knee when it clutters together. There will be arthritis. When the real tiger comes. So this has to be experienced. Unless he has faced it, he will not know whether there is fear or not. We all say that, हमको कोई नहीं, हम तो इस जन्म में कभी कोई पाप ही नहीं किया है. किसी को, बहुत लोग बोलते, बहुत लोग है, यहाँ तक पापी है, यहाँ तक पाप से, लेकिन उसको पूछो इस जन्म में, पहले जन्म का मुझे पता नहीं है. I have experienced all this. No, I cannot laugh also. You imagine my condition. I have to be very serious. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Shambhu Mahadeva. So, Ashwini, why did I joke? In between little laughing is necessary. Real experiencing can be done. That means real living can be done only in the Grihastasramam. So Grihastasramam has been given great importance in the Vedas and Puranas. That is why the Maharishis and Tapasvis have written voluminous books and voluminous rituals. No? Ye yajna karo, ye yajna karo, putragameshti yogam, putragameshti yajna, this yajna, that yajna. How many yajnas are there? So many yajnas are there. What for? All for the purpose of the true living of Grihastasramam. Living is a beautiful experience. Living teaches us everything, you know, if we want to learn actually. You know. And then, but that living has to be done through Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattvam. That's why we are learning all these things. At least through this, whatever we learn, if we can live even further, live, even though few, and whatever time left out, no problem. If we can live that dharmically and according to the Vedanta, according to Veda, according to Shastras, we in a position to identify our purpose of life is this, and we should be living for the purpose of Brahmajnanam, Brahma Sachatkara, and then ultimately for Layam when it takes place, no? For the purpose of Layam. That is the purpose. So when we understand that, karma and karma phala we will not get attracted and attached to karma and karma phala. The moment we get attached to karma and karma phala, mostly karma phala, we are attached not to karma actually. We are attached to karma phala is why we are doing the karma. See, that attachment towards the karma phala has to be eliminated is called vairagya. Vairaga. Non-attachment is vairaga. Non-attachment to the result of the karma has to be done by everybody. Even walking, even sleeping, even thinking, everything is a karma. Even a Maharishi does the karma. Rishi karma, Rishi dharmam, Rishi karmam, Raja dharmam, Raja karmam. Everybody does the karma. So long we have a sharira, we have mana, we have to keep on doing the karma. No doubt about it. Nothing wrong. Do it. But non-attachment to the results. When I have an identification and capability of non-attachment to the result, if we have learned it, then our karma will be reduced. Because we do not know, we just do each and every karma that comes in front of us. We do everything, then from the results, sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. We do not know. But knowingly that we should do and execute a karma, and then don't expect that result is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavan says that not to get attached to that karma phala which is not useful for your Brahmajnanam Brahmatattva. Is why he told Arjuna, hey Arjuna, do your karma. That is the sannyasi's job, to execute your karma. As a Raja, this is the Raja Dharmam, this is what you are supposed to execute. And after executing, Bhagavan cannot say wrong. He has to execute. What is he execute? His dharma is in order to remove the adharmam, he has to do certain actions and it has to be done. So you have to do it. Then what happened? Then don't get attached to the results. He was getting attached to the results. What will happen to my kith and kin? Was his attachment. That attachment has to be removed. What will happen to whom is decided by somebody else, is by him. His own karmas. So having given lots of opportunities, the adharmam has to be removed from there. So is why you have to execute your karma, he said. So the karma execution will always be there. Let us not think that we will not be able to do, we will not be having any karma to execute. Till the day of dying, last moment of dying also, we have to do a karma, maybe. But expectation of results have to be. How to handle that, not getting attached to the karma phala, is called the vairagya. This vairagya is the one that we have to learn while we are living in the life. Through the Grihastasramam. When we are executing, see, otherwise what happens? Everywhere we get raga, we get attached, we get attracted, we get pulled away from the right karma. And sometimes we think that, oh my God, I was supposed to do that, where I have come. What are the things in between has happened? And I have lost all the time. I have lost all the time. This is what most of us we say that, my God, I lost all my years. Had I done this 10 years back, I would have been like this. I'm thinking after 10 years, now going back is not possible. So, not getting attracted, that realization comes later on. But then it is of no use. You have already executed that karma, you have already got attached to that karma, there is no point. Confession is okay, one way of ego satisfaction that I have confessed, realize. After confession, then he should not repeat it. That's why in ours also, we go and pray in the temple, close our eyes, say, Bhagwan, I have done this mistake, please Chama Karo, Chama Karo. We do that. Same thing, a Christian goes to the church and then tells that confession to the Father. Like that, there's so many things. Okay, confession. So now that confession is good. Confession is alright. Sometimes unknowingly we commit a mistake, no problem. And a confession is good. We also say that, hey Bhagwan, mere se kya galti ho gaya, I have done a lot of mistakes. Please Chama Karo, Chama Karo. Good, excellent, no doubt. Paschatapa is very, very necessary. That only human being has got the facility of it. Nobody else has got it. Human being only has got the facility of Paschatapa. And through Paschatapa, what does it mean? That he should not be repeating the same mistake again. Not that every time he does the mistake and every time he goes and does confession and do Paschatapa. That is not Paschatapa. Tapa of Paschat. Paschat means after doing it, Tapa. That means dukkha or expression of that. And so that if that is possible to correct it, he should correct it, otherwise he should not. So the best way of, in Grihastasramam, the important one is that vivaham, panigrahanam, vivaham. Taking that kanya away in order to experience to the life, the true life. That is not a true life. The kanya in the house of her house is looked after by somebody else. See. Those days, it is because kanya is not supposed to earn money out of it. She is supposed to take care of the house, and the man is supposed to provide the house. That is the rule. I mean, our earlier days, today it is slightly different, of course. Well, even then, we have to follow these principles because these principles are absolutely necessary. Now, for a man also, for a boy also, it is absolutely necessary, a new thing for him. He has to now, so long he was dependent upon his father and his others. Now, after getting the marriage, after getting the vivaha, he has to take care of his own family, his own house. He has to take responsibilities. So, his karmas and her karmas together, put together, they will have to modify their life in the way it is suitable and progressive to them. According to the previous era, certain rituals, certain formalities, certain things were executed. Following that, modifying certain things, depending upon the era today, that has to be modified and executed, taking the right decision at the right time, together, so that both together, both are wanting to execute the karmas, create the vairagya and get the moksha. So from the kama, from the desires and the living between the desires, they have to get vairagya towards it, and they, after Grihastasramam, they have to get the moksha. The purpose of Grihastasramam should be moksha, not again being born again as a Grihastasrami. What is use of it? Repetition of the same thing, you see. The purpose of it is not that. वो ज्योतिषी बोलता है ना, 7 जन्मों तक तुम लोग husband and wife रह गए बोलता है ना. I used to laugh. हम लोग के यहाँ पर this is general talk, general talk in our community, is it not? In our Hinduism we talk all. वो 7 जन्मों तक था या 7 जन्मों तक होगा या कुछ. You know what is the Jyotishi actually telling that? You know what is the Jyotishi telling? Both of you are useless for nothing. Even 7 janmas, you do the same karma, even then you are not eligible to come out of it, is what he is saying. Is what I understood. He may be telling that with a good intention, okay. And people may be happy also. Okay. That's a different thing. But actually, what is the meaning of it? This Janma itself I should finish. No, that should be the attitude. Actually, he is not wishing you good. So, yeah, tell me honestly, think about it. Is it not? That repetitive of the same 7 Janma, what's the use of it? Same sabji has been cooked, same roti. 7 years I have to eat the same thing. Now tell me honestly. Careful. Okay, jokingly said, but it is truth that it is not that 7 Janmas should not be there. We should have, moksha, mukti. Grihastasrama is meant for moksha, not for continuing as a Grihastasrami for long. He has to get a vairagya, he has to go for vanapastha, and they should get a moksha. That is why the words have been very intelligently, very cleverly, very nicely, very wisely designed. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. How beautifully he has arranged it, Maharishi, Tapasvi. Beautifully arranged it. You should have intention of dharma, first of all. Then the practice dharma. And through that practice of dharma, have the artham. The result of that dharma should be your artham. With that artham, you execute your kamam. With that kamam, experience and spend all that artham that is got from that, spend it for experience of the kamam, and then get moksha. You are empty-handed then. Gone, finished. How? No? Streamlined, the production line is so good, beautifully designed, from raw material to finished product. This is how it is done. That's why it's beautifully done. Vivaham is one of the important things, because both can have and execute their responsibilities together, understanding each other's dharmam, not interfering the dharmam. Understanding each other's dharmam and executing certain things jointly, certain things independently. There are so many things independently, certain things jointly, but both functioning for execution of dharma. That once it is done, then only the vairagya can come. Ultimately, the result should be non-attachment to the karma pillars. If the karma is not executed during the vivaha, during the execution of Grihastasramam, what happened? The desire and expectation remains unfulfilled. That is one which will lead you for the next janma, rebirth. That should not happen. Purpose of Grihastasramam has been given. Experience it, experience it, experience it. Have problems, have difficulties, have difficulties. Kashta, dukkha. Execute it in the right sense. Dhairyam. To be with the God. That's why I said during the other day I was telling you that when we do that meditation, what we have done, we gain the peace in the mind, and then we realize that nothingness is the thing that I am supposed to attain. That beautiful thing of nothingness is the call where I have to have the layam. For that purpose, whatever I am supposed to execute, today I have been given a choice in order to execute the karmas for the purpose of reaching that layam, reaching that nothing. In layam, I am not there. I should not be there. When I am not there and I should not be there, when a layam has to be taken place, I should not possess anything. Neither good nor bad. I should not possess anything. If I possess something, that will be an obstacle for layam. I cannot have it. You agree with me? Science, of course, says that. In a water, if there is any grains, what happened? Layam incomplete. If there are any external matter, external matters there which is not liquidifiable, I mean it's not soluble, that will become an obstacle for layam. So that should not be it will be an obstacle. Neither sato guna nor rajo nor tamo guna should be there. That karma pala should not be there. Everything has to be exhausted. Everything has to be spent for execution of the Grihastasramam kamam, fulfillment of the desires. Splendid. All your dharmas, Maharishi, Tapasvis are taking reincarnation because there also the sato guna has not been exhausted. The rebirth is different, reincarnation is different. I have explained you that. In reincarnation, why they are reincarnating? Their sato gunas are not exhausted. So they will have to tell others, look, this is dharmam, this is dharmam, this is dharmam. Tell, and finally he exhausted with all his sato guna also. then he goes to land. See? That what you acquire, something you hold on to the hand, that will be an obstacle. बच्चे करते हैं ना, that small children they do it. So, you've taken something, mother says, show your hand, show the other hand, and then he'll give it. He'll not leave, then he'll put it in the pocket and see, nothing is there. But he'll keep it, you see. This is normal in our human being. It's not the child. We do that, you see. Holding on, putting it in the pocket. That will be without realizing, that will be an obstacle for the lion. I'm explaining in detail why, because just to go inside and understand it in the right sense and right perspective. It's not a superstition, or it is not a false thing that you should not understand. You should understand that. No? So the responsibilities of the girl and the boy, through vivaham only, it can be arranged. And then only they can share responsibilities. In the father's house, whatever she wanted, it has been granted to her. Abhi humko ye chahiye. Okay, father or mother, they will give. But here, ye chahiye to chupchap raho. Sacrificing, see, it's not that. Not that whatever we want, we should get. No, that's not that. We should know what we want. Then what happens when you start doing it alone? Then you know, oh, what should I ask for? No, we together we have so much of money only. We are, he is earning so much. We have only so much of money. So with this money, whatever we require, we should buy. What is not there? Not now, maybe later. See, this sort of realization and adjustments, even though small things I am talking, but these are all leading to our vairagya actually. Now it is not required, later I will buy it. It's okay. When I have money, I will buy it. When I have this, I will buy it. Or when I have this, I will do it. This I don't want to eat. Today I will not eat ice cream because of this, because of that, because of this, because of throat, because of health. Because of health, because of wealth, because of convenience, because of social stigma. So there are so many reasons for which we have to postpone our desires, or sometimes shelve all our desires. There are so many things. No, we cannot go out. No, do this. Raat ko 2 baje jaake udhar naach machayega. Aisa nahi. No. Because why? Because society. We say that. No, people. What the people will say. We have to have that fear also. What will happen? That we have to do that. So what happens? During living in the Grihastasramam, all these are Grihastasramam. In the living of Grihastasramam, many things have to be shelved out. Sometimes temporarily, sometimes permanently has to be done. This all knowingly should be done, not with an attachment. This will come. This is called the true Grihastha Ashram. This can be learned only through living together, taking the responsibilities together, and living the life the right way it is required. So dharmic way of living has to be done. Then only these are all possible. A dharmic way, any way you want to live, you can live. That is no discussion point. The discussion point is only how to lead the dharmic way so that I get a moksha. Both of us should get a moksha. Both the partners should get a moksha. And also the responsibility has been given by the Lords that the multiplication of the humanity or the prarabdha, and this so that the others have to take care of the world in the right manner. So we have to teach them, we have to bring them up. That is like we've been brought up by somebody else. The same responsibility has to be done by us in order to bring them up and then put them into the way of living so that they will have the dharmic way of living. They should experience, and then life will go on like that. The Vamsha Vardhana, they call it, Vamsha Vardhana. It is nothing but a repetition, actually. What is it like? It's nothing but a repetition. I have experienced the same things from age 5 to age 80 or 70. The same thing the son will experience from 5 to age 70. Same experience, but environment, situations are different, but experience is same. No? The karma bhala is same. There is no difference. Mango in thousands of years ago and mango now, the sweetness is same. There is no change. Even though 1,000 years passed. Same way, Karma, you may look at, oh, electronic karma, and then when we were living, we were plowing with the normal, that hull, and then bales and all, what is it, cows, ox and all that. But whereas here today, tractors are there to plow the land. Fine. That is not the difference. That's not a difference. That is also plowing the land, this is also plowing the land. Tractor is not doing something which is not creating something from the bhumi. No? It's also plowing the land. Earlier also plowing the land, nothing else. Experience is said. The result of the experience or the result of the karmas are same, only the practices are slightly different. It's called the experience. That's called the Vamsha Vardhana. Even though we call it as Vamsha Vardhana, we call it as generation, but the same incidents are repeatedly happening. Born, got married, had children, had the same experience, same problem of finance, same problem of food, same problem of this, the same kashta, dukkha, the same calamity, same flood, same rain, same drought, everything. Is there any change in the pattern? Tell me. Is there any change in the pattern thousands of years? No. Same experience. So what happens? We have to get mukti. That's why I said 7 janmas, same is not going to make a difference. We have to get experience. The same experience, Vamsha Vardhana, is meant for experience. That means more and more of learning and learning and learning. And ultimately, everything goes into layam. A day has to come that everything and everyone has to go into layam, moksha, mukti. Is why Grihastasramam and vivaha is an important thing, because through vivaha only these contributions can be made by each individual. Then he learns the patience, he learns how to sacrifice, he learns how to face the difficulties in the life, how to face the happiness in the life, how to face the dukkha in the life, how to face the loss in the life. One partner dies. No, how to have the dukkha, how to face that dukkha, how to face that, how to continue the life. All these are process of learning in order to have moksha, not getting stuck to it. No? So that's why many people ask many doubts, whether we should keep that, we should do that. Everything has to be renounced. But with the dharma, the dharma bodha has to be there. Rituals are there, rituals are necessary in order to make you conscious, but none of them can be repeated. It's not possible. What happened is happened, it's gone. Now, that's an experience. Now that has been experienced, now it's an experience, this is another experience. Here you learn, that has been learned, so that chapter is over. Instead of trying to learn that learned, now this is a new chapter, now you learn. After this, what happened? Create vairagya for this also. That you have to create vairagya, this also you create vairagya. Then you get the moksha, mukti. Turning point from the childhood, from the small child, playing with the toys to the kaumara, then the vardhakya, then the vanaprastha and things like that. This all have to be, every stage of us, that's called maturity, we call it, maturing from one stage to another stage. That means renouncing the previous stage, accepting the stage. Do we want to play with a top or a small, all those things now? No, as we say, silly, childish. We want something else. So every time that has been changed. So we have to experience also, it has to be changed. Then only we have progress in our life. I always say same thing, in childhood I had been like this, why not? I have the same experience. I wish I had that. We're always thinking, 24 hours made, 9 hours, 10 hours he sleeps, another 14 hours, then he's thinking that my property was there, I sold it, there was a litigation, then there was this one, what to do, I don't understand. Hey, by the time the wife called, it's time for dinner. All these hours he was thinking about litigation, property, and then childhood, and I have not received, brother has cheated him, and things like that. Evening again the same thing. Then slept. Next day morning, sat down again, litigation. I am not exaggerating, I can give examples. That is not correct. He is repeating, no progress in life, you see. We say no, record player में होता है ना, कभी कभी फंस जाते हैं. सपने टूट गए, सपने टूट गए. I know it's today I'm in the jovial mood. So please accept me like that. It's all necessary. Okay, I think before we close, let me tell you some more things. According to Shastras, after fixing a wedding, only after 41 days one should get married. Maybe 41 days. Not too long, not too small. 41 days should be the tapasya actually. Both the boy and the girl, according to the Shastra, it's very scientific, very scientific. In order to have Vamshavardhana, in order to have peaceful life, in order to have happy life, in order to have this 41 days, he should be doing a penance actually. He should not get entertained, going into all other enjoyments and things like that, not celebrating that after 41 days is my marriage. He should be concentrating on tapasya and then focusing on my future life. Like a brahmachari, like doing tapasya, that the execution of karmas should be like this, like this, like this. For that, to attain the peace, to attain the jnanam, to make my mind absolutely not going out of the control beyond the kama and moha and all those things should not be beyond my stability and things like that. These 41 days is a vrata period. That's why even today, many of the vratas you will find 41 days. In our place we go to Shabarimala, 41 days vrata has to be done. This 41 days got a significance again. During this 41 days, you will reach certain vibrational frequency where you bring the calmness of mind, not an agitated mind, not a restless mind, not a very fearful mind, not a mind which is absolutely expectations, too much of expectations and things like that. Where in this tapasya what happened, like a saint, like a sannyasi, he goes into the tapasya for the purpose of the future of him, that life of his important chapter of his life where he can gain moksha and mukti through Grihastasramam. That's what is going to happen. For that attainment, he does the tapasya. You may find that it is you might not have heard about it, but you will understand. In Purana, again I go back because that's the only example I can project. When you go to Mahabhagavatam, there, Kapila Maharshi, he does tapasya to Mahavishnu, and for what that he would like to get a wife who will be suitable for executing the Grihastasramam and attaining the moksha mukti. No? And then Mahavishnu presents. The stories are meant for identifying the principle. This is what exactly I am talking about. 41 days of tapasya. Identification to getting a good partner. So what happens? Bhagavan Vishnu presents himself and he says that you will get somebody who is very good. Now within few days, the Manu will come there. Brahma's Manasaputra Manu is there. Manu's Putri is there, Devahuti. Devahuti will be married to you. And Devahuti is from Manu Putri. So you can imagine what is the culture from where she is coming. And that will be your Putri. So you will have the wonderful life of marriage life, and then you will get mukti. So imagine. That Maharshi, the Kapila Maharshi, did tapasya for getting Devahuti. So, you understood what I am saying? So in Grihastasrama, that's an example. This is for us to utilize it. So 41 days is the tapasya period for which you should, even the girl also has to go into the tapasya to gain a good vara and to gain a good vadhu. Both vadhu and vara, both should be absolutely in the dharmic way of living. This tapasya is to be done 41 days. Is the right way of doing it. This has to be there. That is why that period of Today we call it courtship.
Courtship.
Today courtship is not dhyanam. Okay. Like that. So 41 days. Better not to go for that. Then there are different kinds of vivaha. This also I have explained earlier. 41 days for vivaha, different kinds of vivaha. So they both have determined who should I get, who should be, our life should be, both of our lives should be for the purpose of the vairagya and also for the moksha and mukti, and I should be able to deal with my life. The other things I have already told earlier, I am not going there. So this vivaha, how many types of vivaha is there? Brahma vivaha is there. That means absolutely pious vivaha is there. They're great Maharishis, they do it. But Brahma vivaha is there. Daivika vivaha is there. There also, it is like Gandharva vivaha. Daivika vivaha is that very auspicious in Swargaloka. That means both are saints. Then for the purpose of for the purpose of the improvement of the world, like Daivika, like we can say Mahavishnu and Lakshmi, like Bhagavan Shiva and Parvati vivaha. These are all Daivika vivaha. Okay, that's why we are not yet reached there. Next is Arsha vivaha. Arsha vivaha is that rishis and Maharishi Vaishrava has done a vivaha even with Asuriya Stri. But it's a Rishi vivaha. Rishi has decided he will prepare the earlier that for the Brahma vivaha and the Daivika vivaha, there is no Yajna Gunda and Yajna and then Agni Sakshi and all, because for them no Sakshi is required. But Rishi vivaha will be Yajna Gunda and Sakshi, Agni Sakshi will be there in the Arsha vivaha. That's Rishis or sages vivaha. Then comes the Prajapatya vivaha. Prajapatya vivaha is the one which we are, we means not we again, maybe when we were small, earlier, probably all of us, our age group, people who were earlier, that is arranged marriages. Prajapatya vivaha is arranged marriages. And houses, they will see that which culture they are coming from, which house they are coming from, what will be the nature of that person, what will be the culture of that person, because that culture is going to be brought and this culture is going to be taken, and both of them creating a good culture. This is to be seen by experienced people, how the family is there, what is their tradition, uska father, grandfather kaun tha, and what are the way they are doing it. Is it that, things like that. They study the whole thing, that are they real tapasvis, are they doing dharma karmanga, or are they doing all the atrocities, or are they doing some sort of business which is not decent, and things like that. Is that the parents will say nothing doing. Prajapatya, that means identification of the culture in which situation they have been brought up, and they will be selected and they will be brought together. Is called Prajapatya vivaha. Very important. But today it's not possible, unfortunately, because today parents are not bringing up the children. Somebody else, someone in the hostel, someone with the ayah, someone with somebody else, somebody is bringing them. So maybe that may not be applicable today, but what happened then, whatever we are doing today also is not right. Anybody and everybody we get married to. That's also not right. Anyway, things are different every era. We cannot comment on that. So I will only explain that what has been written and what has been told and what is right. Prajapatya, they are all with a great purpose. They have got a great intention. They have got a great principle behind it. There's a principle behind it. Today, choosing a girl and boy just like that, they saw in the market or in the television, then not even personally. Online marriages have been done. Even during pandemic stages, I think marriages have been contacted already during they say, relatives also sitting on the Zoom. In the Zoom, and in the Zoom, mala has been exchanged, and in the Zoom only dinner bhi serve ho gaya and party bhi ho gaya, and also marriages also conducted, and they said now we are married. The moment pandemic is over, we will meet for honeymoon. Probably honeymoon also in that Zoom, I don't know. This is not right, absolutely not right. Today's way of this one is absolutely wrong. because there is nowhere it is fitting into. So Prajapatyam is that there are some qualities. Then Asurika Vivaha, Asura Vivaham. That will be with all sorts of celebrations, all sorts of this one. Plus also maybe forceful also, maybe with Adhikaram that can be done. See, somebody who is powerful, Asurika Vivaha, Asura Vivaha. Gandharva Vivaha. Gandharva Vivaha is that only was just girl and boy agreed to that and they marry without anybody. That's called Gandharva Vivaha. That's, Gandharvas used to do this Vivaha. In Gandharva, in the Swargaloka, Gandharvas used to do that Vivaha. There is no witness, there is nothing, there is no agreement, there is nothing like that. So just Vivaha, and they follow that and they live happily. Okay, that's Gandharva Vivaha. Then comes Rakshasa Vivaha. Rakshasa Vivaha is very arrogant and very, so it can be, forcefully taking a girl and all that. And like Ravana did Mandodari, is Vivaha. It's Rakshasa Vivaha only. They were forced actually because Mandodari's father was not very happy with that. Because of his power, Ravana, otherwise he'll kill. Why Bhishma did the same thing? That's the thing. It's also Rakshasa Vivaha. Paisha, last is Paishachika Vivaha. Paishachika Vivaha is brutal. You want to rape somebody and then take away and then throw it out and things like that. Paishachika Vivaha. So these are the various types of Vivaha which used to be prevalent and which are prevalent. Even today, these are all prevalent in a different form. That's all. These are all prevalent. But then, what is good for normal human being? Prajapatya is nice, good, very nice. Then Arsha, Daivika, Brahma, that is a different thing. So these are the number of Vivahas. So after this, then what happens? Quality of life and quality of living has to be understood. At the end of the marriage, at the end of the marriage, when everything is finished, what is that? Not supposed to be sitting and crying over whatever it is that at the end of the marriage we have to identify what karmas have been done, where I have no attachment, vairagya has to be created, where I am supposed to get the moksha, walk towards the priti of moksha, so that after the end of the marriage, after everything over, end of that, one should be free, and one should be happy, one should be free, and one should be lucky to go to Vanaprastha. Both going into Vanaprastha and Aram se baith ke tapasya karo subah se shaam tak, whatever you get, you eat and live in a place where absolutely like ashram and be happy with that. That Vanaprastha, one should gain that. Is the last, then the layam, then comes sannyasa, when layam takes place. Yes, so now you have attended the Vivaha. That's why I said today we are attending the Vivaha. This is Vivaha. Purpose of Vivaha is not anything else. Purpose of Vivaha is experiencing Grihastasramam, experiencing life in its rightful manner, dharmic way. That's called rightful manner. In its rightful manner, executing the karmas in the right manner, executing the karmas without any desire, attachment to the karma bhalas. There should be no attachment towards that. That absolute vairagya has to be created. Whatever has happened, happened. Got it, not got it, not got it. Finished. I should not be stuck to that, so that I will be taking it with me for the next janma. Is what next I will come to. Next 3 more. What is it?
Shodasa.
Samskaras are there. We will go through that also, if you all agree. Permit me to do. Panchamahayajna, Vanaprastham, Antyeshti. Before Antyeshti, finish all this, I am telling you. Then we go to Antyeshti. What is Antyeshti? After why Antyeshti? And in Antyeshti what happens? What will happen? That also finish it. Don't know how many. 1 more class, 2 more class. Don't know. Then we'll go for meditation. When everything is over, when understood, we'll concise that during that meditation, everything. Putting into that, and then accordingly continue the life after that. All backlog should be washed out with that. Right? Layam will take place and do that. Om Shanti. Shanti. Like that, ma'am. Hari Om.